Welcome back.
Welcome
you know what it is.
Another
you know what it is.
episode.
It's your boy Mayhem.
Kovah.
Welcome back to the planet. What we call it? What we call the planet? We call the planet Squad Supreme Planet. Population count how much? 484 something. I don't know. 480 something. You know, I'm still, you know, I'm still waiting for more of y'all to come through and chill with us, have some fun, you know, learn something new. Like we are about to learn something new right now from who? From our favorite Discovery Channel narrator, Discovery Channel informer.
You might as well be there.
You know, how is this man?
Casual Geographic
today, man. People. So you've never seen animals like this before?
I'm even curious, like I don't even want to ask, cause I know this guy is. He really finds something you don't know.
He really does.
If you thought you knew animals, think again.
After discovering this guy, man, I had to reset every single thing I knew about animals.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's add some more knowledge with our guy Casual. Go subscribe. Keep subscribing, share, and hit the what? The noti bell.
Do them things, man.
Do them things. Let's get to it.
Man, come outside, there's a moose! Or a buffalo or some shit fighting!
I don't even know.
Oh, buffalo, what is this?
Buffalo.
You know what this is? I bet you don't. Chances are, most of you have never seen this tree trunk before. I'll tell you in a second, but first, quick question. If you had to take a blind guess, how many species of mammals do you think are in the world? Think of all the ones you've seen in your entire life and try to imagine what number that would add up to. The answer, 6,495. And counting, and that's just the mammals. Add in animals in general, and we're talking millions. Which brings me to my next point.
Armageddon.
Madagascar.
That's from Madagascar.
Something from the Bronx. Something from the Bronx. Bruh, with how much they love talking about animals in Africa, bruh. Yeah. I swear to you, bruh, they must have some weird ass stuff in the Bronx, bruh. What's that, man? I've never seen something like that.
What's this one?
I don't know, bruh. I don't.
Is that even a...
I don't know, man. This looks like something.
This looks like cat.
It escaped from a lab. I don't know how to
On 14th Street.
This man is a wordsmith.
And
I how my man's only one understand. School doesn't teach it to you, and you don't see it in a zoo or on National Geographic, and it's not the animal of the week on Reddit. You have no way of knowing some animal, and you don't see it in a zoo or on National Geographic, and it's not the animal.
Hell no, bro.
It's a capybara, bro.
What?
It's a capybara, yeah.
They ride on crocodiles?
The most friendliest mammals apparently on this planet, man.
And they ride on the most
they're so chill, man.
On the most little dinosaurs
on Earth. You might as well call capybaras the herbalist of the animal kingdom, you know. Everyone just gets along with them. You know, it's like they go around in the animal kingdom just passing blunts. Hey yo, man.
I'm finna have a
what is it?
Capablanca?
A capybara, man.
Capybara.
Yeah.
You might as well have one like in the backyard.
Yeah,
Hope it doesn't cause some crocodile
On Reddit, you have no way of knowing some animals even exist, which is why I can personally guarantee that you haven't seen or heard of all 10 animals in this video. You might know 3 or 4, Animal Planet veterans might get 6 or 7, and hey, some of y'all might know 8 just from watching me long enough. But I promise you there's gonna be at least one animal I talk about that you've never heard of before. I put that on my hairline, and I wear this hat every video for a reason. So let's make a game out of it. If I show you something new, you lose.
That? Hell no.
What is that? That is an edit. That is not alive. That is not something alive, bro.
Nah.
You gotta comment what animal was the one to stump you. And for 90% of y'all, the game ends right here. Because what do you think this is? Maybe an obese leader or an AI-generated sloth? You're not gonna believe this. It's a koala. Okay, not really, but koala's actually closer than anything else I said. This porky, dead-eyed struggle monkey is the bear cuscus. And despite looking like nature made it on a deadline with spare parts, it's actually a marsupial. This thing that looks like a Madagascar understudy is more related to kangaroos, devils, and quokkas than it is to any lemur. And that's about as much as we know about them because we haven't been able to figure out much more. They've essentially been gatekept from the rest of the world, only found on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi and remote islands nearby. We have no clue how many overstuffed tree chunguses or chungai are in circulation. Currently, only 4 zoos have this monkey sloth on its roster. Even its name is an identity crisis since cuscus means possum, meaning on paper, you're looking at a bear possum. But its Latin name is Aleurops ursinus. And I didn't take Latin in high school because French was too sexy, but I'm pretty sure that means cat bear. Basically, not even science had a handle on what this off-brand koala was. And they have the same meal plan as them, and since they eat nothing but leaves, they virtually spend their entire lives on quarter playback speed. In fact, this great value lemur spends 5% of its day eating and 63% resting. That's 16 hours a day eating and recovering from eating. That is load management, and boy is this tree chonk a load. They'd probably be cute if their eyes didn't disturb me on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
This is a cuscus that has seen some shit.
Hey, man.
And clearly they never recovered since their painfully shy will even cover themselves with leaves if they see you first, since they're terrified of humans and only live in the most isolated areas of the forest. Also, this is a blood bear cuscus, and they're a lot cuter, but it also looks like a wombat that got severely laced. But with them being highly rational, loving marsupial introverts, it makes sense that you've probably never seen them before. But the next animal is probably the biggest one you've never heard of. This animal has been called 6 dissimilarities, and it's
bro. In the comments, cause I paused, like after the koala-looking thing, you see it.
What,
like,
the koala base, the bear koala?
Yeah, just tell
The
me.
cat bear koala?
Just tell me in the comments what you think this is. What I'm looking at right now. Like it's kind of like has horns.
Moose like. The head is shaped like a moose.
Like the fur is like a bear's.
More like a lion's mane. If you look at
It's
it,
also lionish.
Yeah.
Bro, who's breeding? If you're breeding, and please stop breeding.
I know what it
animals.
looks like.
What?
It looks like the devil's cousin. yeah.
Honestly, looks like a wildebeest, buffalo, bear, and friends all did a fusion dance, and this was
so
the
Ray
outcome.
is right.
This absolute unit is a takin, and they can stress the scales at up to 800 pounds of pure confusion. The takin is essentially a giga goat, with their closest relatives being the mountain goat
takin.
and the chamois. And yes, the mountain goat isn't an actual goat because that makes sense. The Sichuan takin actually shares a range with the giant panda, and they use that nose to heat up air before it hits their lungs. That nose job of necessity also makes it look like a moose that got too cocky with a beehive, which is no joke how they were first described by scientists. I won't do this for every animal, but its Latin name, Budorcus taxicolor, means badger-colored cow ox. Interesting. Takins also sweat oil that smells like burning rubber, and they use this to mark their territory. They're not known menaces, but they do have their moments. In 2007, a Takin broke into a man's house and injured him and 8 other people, one of them a pregnant woman. And in 2018, during a routine visit from the vet, a Takin decided he wasn't having it anymore, busting out his enclosure doors and wandering the zoo for an hour, injuring 2 workers in the process. Basically, he's not a killer, but don't push him. Same thing with the next animal on this list, which might be the second biggest creature you've ever heard of.
He's damn, that's ugly, bro. Damn, bro. Why did I pause there, bro? Why did I pause there, bro? Why did I pause there, bro?
Finding these things.
Hey, bro. Why did I pause there,
It's
bro?
like he's just like.
Now it's staring at me, man.
Casually searching blind.
Now it's staring at me. I don't know what to
Animals that
say.
don't know.
I don't know what to say anymore because this thing is staring at me, man. And
What
I was
are you
like,
about-
hey,
what are you
man.
about to say?
I don't know anymore,
Before
bro.
we met this pig and armadillo looking kind of. Oh, bro, what a how? Bro, I wonder who's in charge of this animal breeding process.
It's the labs, bro. The labs. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's the labs,
Out in
man.
more ways than one. But we'll get to that, guidelines willing. It's a giant plus-size river pig that's actually closer to horses, rhinos, and wild asses. Oh, and donkeys too. They're also the national animal of Belize. Shout out to Belize if y'all out there. There's 4 types of tapirs, and the Malaysian one might just strike a nostalgia nerve if you ever played Pokemon. Because Drowsy was actually based on the travel-sized Oreo elephants of Asia. According to mythology, this tapir was associated with the Japanese Baku, and the Baku was said to feed on the dreams of people, especially nightmares. The IRL tapirs are pretty chill for what they are, even though they can get into the neighborhood of 700 pounds. But they have the dental facilities to bite clean through your arm, so they're definitely one of those F around and find out animals. animals. One family found out when a tapir nearly ripped a 2-year-old in half during a supervised visit in a Dublin zoo. But for the most part, this boneless river rhino is just a flaccid-faced, gentle giant that I kind of wish the world was more aware of. I mean, just look at the teeth on this little guy. You can't tell me it's not cute. Speaking of babies and where they come from, tapirs must have made a deal with the devil we don't know about, since they have a fifth leg long enough to use as a tripod or as a DIY back scratcher. When it comes to herbivorous mammals of the world, the tapir is the real cock of the walk. And to cleanse your eyes from that unsolicited salami stick, I give you the Sensei Bunny.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Mayhem.
This is your boy Kovah.
Just a quick reminder to like,
share,
subscribe,
and hit that notification bell.
And I know you love watching Squad Supreme, and for those who keep watching, thank you.
Much
and for
appreciated.
those who just arrived, stick around. It's gonna be good. Let's get back to the video.
Actually, a rodent called a viscacha, and its closest relative
Finally,
is
man. Finally, man. You know,
especially since
looks
this
like
is their
something they
default
got right
pose.
in the
And its
lab.
color-
Though it looks like it's always
High.
high.
Yeah,
I want some of this.
I tell you, man. They call it the what? Not bunny?
Whatever bunny
Whatever bunny it
I don't know.
is. Yeah, it's high on life, bro.
It's high on life.
It looks high on life,
every,
bro.
every second.
Every second is a
Look at those eyes,
man.
bro.
Viscacha's
Sun is out, man.
It's also kind of cold, so they spend every morning sunbathing and waiting to provide advice to
Look at that.
anyone who
Look
requires
at the
it.
babies,
Also,
man.
I really wish I didn't waste that Chungus joke earlier, because come on, it's right there. And the reason they look like a vertically cheated but horizontally defeated obese wallaby is because, like the chinchilla, the viscacha has some of the densest fur on the planet. Also, I'll be honest, I knew about the viscacha. I did not know they could move like that. That's an actual sleeper build.
Damn.
No, like literally,
Damn.
they look like they were built to sleep when they're not passing judgment. This is the look of an animal whose natural predator is a P-test. Brother is faded.
Bruh.
That's a viscacha. And by the way, if you didn't lose the game already, this next animal almost guarantees you will. Because yeah, there is an animal in this picture, and it's possible.
Bro, like you tell me what you see
Nah.
right now.
I ain't
Like,
gonna tell
is
you.
this a tail?
I don't know.
Is this Abby's hands?
What I do know that we call this nightmare fuel, bruh.
Oh.
Okay? Because I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how to classify it. I don't know which genre to put it in.
Does it even have a head?
I don't know, bruh. I just know if I dream about it, it's gonna freak me the fuck out, bruh. It's gonna freak me out.
If you woke up in the room.
We got punching and kicking.
What are you gonna punch?
These fluffy things, I don't know what they
Nothing
are.
about. And that's because not only is this animal nocturnal and lives in the Amazon equivalent of a penthouse, during the day, it's sleeping in the silk cotton tree camouflaged as a seed pod fiber. And that's how the silky anteater got its name. Because when your biggest ops are eagles with some of the best vision on earth, that is the best you can do. Like the rest of the anteater family, they have claws. And unlike their cousin the sloth, they actually know how to use them. A sleeping silky will nap with its 4 legs and claws right
I
next
see.
to its face.
Oh.
They're not that different from dozing
Oh,
or
damn.
soft
So it can.
They also can eat 5,000 ants a day, and they
nice.
use that sticky barbed tongue to skewer and trap their protein. And since anteaters have 0 teeth, they have stomachs like bird gizzards, designed to grind the ants down.
Damn.
Proof that beauty is subjective, because what's cute to us is a harbinger of death and genocide if you're an ant. But I'm not an ant, and you probably aren't either, so let's just take some time to marvel at this pocket-sized baby-faced dollar brand sloth.
looks like
And it's not the
anytime
only
it
token
could
from
claw
South
you
America
down,
on this
bro.
list.
Literally has one
This
flaw
might look like a regular
of
run-of-the-mill
death.
bird, but this little dude has one of the coldest pickup lines in the game.
Damn. Oh. It's like the equivalent of, hey, shorty. Hey, man. I see you. I see you. I see you, man. I see you. Such a smooth talking bird, man. Such a smooth talking bird. Oh, damn. Alright.
Like this way, shawty.
That is
With
a
your
club-winged
fine ass.
manakin singing a love song with his feathers. Basically, this small bird from
damn.
Central and South America has modified flight feathers, and by vibrating them, the mannequin shoots a shot with a specialized sound that varies by bird. Some mannequins do a solid violin impression, others sound like fireworks on the 4th of July. Also, they make this sound by shaking their feathers 100 times a second.
What?
Oh,
So they make that
damn.
sound with the feathers?
Hey, I thought it was the
With the wings?
Yeah,
I thought it was,
talking.
it wasn't the vocals.
So
yet?
he's not here to smooth talk.
So
He's
he just got it.
yeah.
He just has it.
He's a
It's him.
It's just game, man. It's just game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's him.
It's him. It's him.
Alright.
He's him.
As fast as a mascot for ADHD, the hummingbird. And they do all this
And those
while
are
dancing. They're really the Michael Jackson of birds. And I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything. I didn't even know they existed until like a week ago. And if it wasn't for a certain holiday, this next animal might not exist, period. Also, I know the whole crab thing has kind of become a meme, but we're gonna have to talk about how many animals' endgame is a rabbit. This is the second animal here that isn't even remotely related to them, yet stole most of their design. The bilby is another marsupial, meaning this and Snorlax monkey
just
are
looks
basically
like a
family.
rat,
The
man.
greater bilby can be found
With
in the
big
harsh
ass
arid
ears.
deserts of Australia.
And a
Now you might be
long
asking, is
whatever
there a
you
lesser
call it,
bilby?
man.
And yeah, there was. And now they're dead. So clearly not good enough. The greater bilby's not that far behind since they're endangered, which is pretty wild for an animal that only gets pregnant for 2 weeks. Not even exaggerating, at about 14 days,
That's
bilbies
quick.
have one of the shortest cook times of any
called
animal.
child
Hey,
support
bro,
Also,
that's
right
like,
relative
I'm
to
trying
other
to cook
bandicoots.
now, bro.
Yeah, it's a real animal. The more you know. But yeah, greater bilbies used to inhabit 70% of Australia, and today they're barely holding on to less than 20. And a
And
big
then with
reason
all
was
those
humans
giant
airdropping
spiders,
threats
how
like
could you
foxes
not?
and
How could you
cats.
not?
But these
Exactly.
days the word's been getting out about the plight of the appropriation bunny, and they can thank the sale of chocolate bilbies on Easter. Easter bilbies started in '93, and they've been part of the culture ever since. It's only right that they replaced rabbits, since rabbits are one of the things that got the bilby population in the mud. But today, there's well over 3,000 of them. Not great, but they're not in the worst spot. They're not as down bad as animal number 8, since there's only hundreds of them left on the planet. Nobody would blame you if you went your entire life without seeing it, since they're shy, endangered, and the only place you can find them is in special underground caves in the Balkans.
Who's going?
Which I am not going.
Like, who's like?
I would have, if it wasn't
Like,
for our
bro.
boy here from Casual Geographic, I'm
I
telling you,
wouldn't
bro,
know this
it
thing.
would have gone extinct without me even knowing it existed,
It's
bro.
basically extinct
A
because
cave.
we didn't.
A
Like,
cave.
look what he showed us first.
Bruh,
A drawing.
a drawing of it. Now
That's
you
how
want me to find
endangered it
something
is.
of realism? Like
It looks
this in
like
a cave?
This looks like
A miniature
jagged-
dragon,
yeah,
yeah.
like
It looks like a
baby
miniature
jagged.
bruh. Some slimy ass scales and oh, bruh, hell no.
Salamander that's blind, vampire pale, and happens to be one of the most fundamentally confusing animals in the world. First of all, they're not born blind, but they lose their eyes a couple months after they're born and even grow a layer of skin over them.
So it's like, yeah, I might have eyes,
But
yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna outgrow them.
yeah.
I don't
Vision.
need those.
Vision?
What was that?
Vision?
What?
You see?
What's that?
You wanna see?
Nah, bro.
Nah.
This weak sauce.
Nah.
I could maneuver
Nah,
blind, dog.
come back after 100 years or something when you lost your sight, boy.
Yet they can still detect and avoid light. The Om can go a whole decade without food by storing important nutrients in their liver. Usually when you talk about animals that live the longest, you're looking at relatively bigger creatures like elephants, whales, and tortoises. This tiny blind salamander has a lifespan more comparable to us at about 70 years, and scientists believe they can max out at well over a century. For reference, there might be an Om salamander right now that was alive when World War I popped off. A reason for this is, unlike Archduke Ferdinand, the Om has 0 enemies. There was even one Om on record that straight up didn't move for a whole 7 years. The Manakin Challenge was in 2016. Bro just never stopped playing. Oms don't be rushing for anybody, which is why they wait once a decade to get laid. Yeah, they breed about once every 12 years, which is probably why there's only an
about being
estimated
picky,
400
man?
in stock. They done protected their piece so much that their whole community finna rest in it. And for animal number 9, you're gonna have to hear me out. Hyenas aren't unknown at all, but out of the 4 species of them, the brown hyena is by far the rarest and least talked about. Which sucks, because they're actually one of my favorite predators in Africa, because I love me an underdog. They're not really great hunters and will often get checked by lions and even their own spotted cousins. Not to mention wild dogs and jackals can get their licks in on their cubs. But brown hyenas are also major kleptos that'll pocket kills from their competition. Sometimes they'll body a 5v1 against cheetahs and walk away with their food and their pride. 2 things I think are pretty dope about them is 1, even though they're not dogs, brown hyenas have a social structure a lot like a wolf pack with the 2 parents and all their kids. And number 2 is that they managed to turn an abandoned town into a nursery. There's an old ghost town in the Namibian desert that has no trace of humans, yet brown hyenas use the desolate houses and empty mines as dens to keep their kids in while they go grocery shopping, which can mean up to 20 miles of walking a day. One famous hyena mother has apparently lived in these forgotten ruins for 15 years and even raised 9 generations of cubs and counting. Moral of the story, hyenas deserve better, and Simba really ain't shit for putting them out like this.
So
But that ain't even close to how hard humanity has violated the last animal here. This isn't a raccoon, skunk, or a cat. It's one of the members of the cat.
Wait, something is surprising me, man.
What What's that?
We've been watching this guy from the very beginning.
Yeah.
He's never once mentioned an ad.
Yeah.
Are we stuck in the Matrix? Hey
Nah,
man, I've been patiently waiting for this guy to transition into an awesome ad the way he always does.
But nah.
But he's
I see
leaving us
not yet,
hanging.
not yet. Give him time.
But this is the last animal though, man. I'm
Side of the
curious.
carnivore family, specifically
You know
called
this, you know.
feliform, which makes this result of an over-the-hedge orgy more related to hyenas than they are to the raccoons they cosplay as. The African civet is only one
So it's
of
like,
over a
I wanna
dozen
look like a
species of
raccoon,
civets seasoned
yeah,
across
but I'm
Africa and
actually a
Asia.
cat.
The raccoon color
Yeah,
is
who
actually
also
a
looks
form
like
of
a leopard.
camouflage. Since the patterns break up their outline, it makes it harder to spot them in the bush. You might not have seen them in the flesh and fur, but you might have heard about them, especially if you drink coffee, because the world's most expensive and gate-kept coffee, Kopi Luwak, is made from the
Oh no, I knew it. Oh, it's like that elephant coffee, man.
I'm so glad I'm not addicted to caffeine. I'm not a caffeine head, man.
Yeah, good thing I'm pretty sure I haven't drank that.
coffee
Yeah.
beans found in the poop of the Asian palm civet. How they literally put two and two together to come up with that, I don't want to know. And of course, this demand could lead to civets being captured, caged, and force-fed coffee beans in order to supply. Full disclosure, I don't drink coffee, so I really wouldn't know, but there's no way it can be worth it. And it's not even the only civet to get his brown eye exploited by people. That was a wild sentence. African civets produce a musk, this white, nasty-smelling stuff that scientists like to call civet butter. Civets use it to mark their territory, but somehow people figured out they can use its butt glands for perfume, specifically Chanel No. 5. And they get the juices they need by scraping it from the civet's pink balloon knot. So if you have some Chanel on deck and it says natural ingredients on the bottle, there's a good chance it came from...
Yeah.
But yeah, civets in general are pretty cool. They can actually be super affectionate when raised by...
What about that Chanel, boo?
Hey bro, it's not only,
I'm sure you have a couple of bottles.
it's not only Chanel, man.
Hey, yeah.
Unfortunately, man, even whale shit, man.
Well, you know.
So,
It's
hey, man, as long as it's not oil based, definitely trust they're using some kind of animal dunk on them.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta get me a farm, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And if I had to pick a favorite, I have to go with Austin's palm civet. Literally only because I think they're cool looking. I mean, you're gonna tell me I'm wrong? So yeah, that's 10 animals you've probably never seen before. Except, when I was making this list, I was stuck at 11 and could not decide what animal to leave off. But then I realized, I have free will, and this is my channel. So y'all get a bonus animal, and probably my favorite animal on here.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the tree kangaroo. Specifically the Goodfellows tree kangaroo.
Oh.
Like the name suggests,
So they
this
are
kangaroo's
nice
entire
kangaroos.
personality is trees. They're mad awkward on land, but they can jump from a height of 3 stories and fully tank the fall damage.
shit.
They're kind of like the cuscus because of where and how they live. A lot of people in the same area as them have no clue they exist. But unlike the cuscus, who looks like the drop bear Aussies keep warning us about, the Goodfellow genuinely looks like a tree-loving teddy bear. And it's not just them. There's 14 flavors of branch bears, including the incredibly rare tenkyle, with only hundreds of them alive today. And the Wandiwa tree kangaroo, who scientists genuinely believe went extinct after going off the grid for 90 years. Until they randomly just popped up out of nowhere. And for y'all that don't understand, it's like the science equivalent of Tupac being alive this entire time in Cuba. Proving that when it comes to nature, the only thing we know for sure is that we really don't know much at all. But
Let
that's
the
gonna
man
do it for this
rest,
video.
man.
Make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more consistent uploads as you wait for the next video. And if you'd like to support this channel even more, becoming a patron.
Hey, you know
There
what
we
to
go.
do, man. You know what to do,
Yeah,
man.
man.
If you'd like to keep supporting this channel, you know what to do, man. Hit that subscribe button, share, hit that like button, hit that noti bell, and get the hell out of here.
And bro, hit your screen so hard that it cracks.
I wouldn't suggest that unless you can replace it.
Yeah, unless you can replace it.